Hey y'all, it's Elizabeth Weimiller, and it's the end of June, which means it's time for your July insights and astro forecast. It's going to be an intense month. There's a lot of intense conjunctions going on. So yeah, I would say just get comfortable being uncomfortable and get really flexible and go with the flow, because July is going to be a little spicy, a little spicy up there in the astro world. So let's go ahead and jump on in and see what's going on in July. So we are going to start the month off on July 4th with the conjunction of Venus and Uranus at 5 degrees of Taurus. This conjunction can be really good for creativity, can stimulate your social life. If you're single, it can bring unexpected love into your life. But anytime Uranus is involved, as we've kind of discussed before in previous times Uranus is involved in transits, it's really important to expect the unexpected. So that's the key for this transit, this conjunction. Expect the unexpected. Depending on what Venus rules in your chart, it's really that's going to give some insight as well as to what you can expect to this conjunction on July 4th, which for those in the US is Independence Day. For those in other parts of the world, it's just July 4th. So keep that in mind. Remain flexible with that Venus-Uranus conjunction. July 10th, we do have a full moon at 24 degrees of Sagittarius in the lunar mansion of Purvashada. This can spark desires to achieve more in life. It can be a more emotional full moon. So just find that the moods may be a little more up and down, give people grace. Some people may be a little more aggressive or confrontational under this full moon energy. As I always kind of say, full moons are not the time to begin new projects. They're kind of a great time to bring out the most, kind of start working towards the completion of the projects to complete it, if possible, before the next new moon. July 12th, Saturn is going to be stationing and turning retrograde. Anytime one of the big guys turns retrograde, it packs a punch. And Saturn will be turning retrograde and stationary at the same time that Neptune is also stationary and turning retrograde. So those two together are going to bring a lot. Saturn calms down a little bit of Neptune's energy, but expect some stuff around gas and oil and the oceans, because this is all happening in Pisces because I use sidereal calculations. But Saturn retrograde starts July 12th. It's going to remain retrograde until November 28th. If you have Saturn retrograde in your natal chart, which many do since it is retrograde 4.5 to 5 months every year, it will be triggered during this transit. It's Saturn retrograde really forces us to be honest about the area where our natal retrograde Saturn is. If we have a retrograde in our natal, Saturn retrograde, it forces us to take responsibility for what is not working and ensure we don't get lost in like the fantasy and that we're really putting in that hard work. But anytime we have retrogrades, it forces us to take that deep look, reassess, readjust. Wherever Saturn, whatever house Pisces rules for you, which is where Saturn is stationing retrograde, there could be delays and setbacks related to those matters. It's okay, take a deep breath, use that time, and know when Saturn turns direct again in November, things may come back around and things may start to re-show up. Anytime there's a retrograde, which there is another one coming in July as well, besides Saturn, but we'll get there, it can be a really good time to meditate, exercise, anything that's going to help calm you, help ground you. Just it's going to be really important to stay grounded. So do that. It's a period of hard work. Embrace the hard work and discipline. If you do, Saturn always rewards for that hard work. July 16th, the sun will transit into Cancer. This can be a time for socializing with friends and enjoying activities and events with family. You may find that your mood is a little bit up and down. Cancer can be a little bit more emotional given it's ruled by the moon. So keep that in mind. You may find your intuition is stronger, so be sure to listen to it. It doesn't steer you wrong, even if sometimes the logic doesn't make sense. So Sun in Cancer can also point to a bit more of digestive issues or digestive systems being a little wonky. So just unless you have your natal sun here, this will pass, but there is that potential. You may also find that under the sun in Cancer transit that you need a little more sleep than normal. And you may find that you just really have more compassion towards some people. So this can be a really good transit, but just recognize, give yourself grace. If you need sleep, get sleep. July 17th, another key date this month. Everyone's favorite planet to hate, poor little Mercury, not poor little Mercury, but Mercury is going to be stationing and going retrograde. So everyone's favorite, the trickster himself, will be stationing and going retrograde July 17th. It's important to remember to take your time with communication and check for understanding with others. It's a time when lines can get crossed and misunderstandings can happen more easily. It's really a time to expect travel delays. So put those patience pants on because you're going to need them between Saturn stationary, Mercury stationary, and going retrograde. It's just important to remember things may not go as planned. So stay flexible because flexibility will be your best friend this month. And really use the time to reflect. And Mercury will stay retrograde until August 11th. July 20th, 21st, depending on where you are in the world, is when the long-awaited Mars and K2 conjunction will occur at 25 degrees of Leo. Now, they have been transiting in the same sign the start of this month, but this is the exact day of the conjunction itself. It can bring This conjunction can really bring both opportunities for growth as well as challenges. Um, you know, they'll stay in the same sign until July 28th. They've been in the same sign since June 6th. But as they get closer together, that's when things get a little more feisty, a little more spicy, a little more active. So Mars and K2 are really as planets at odds with each other because Mars desires action, while K2 prefers more that spirituality and detachment in the sign of Leo, which is more a spiritual sign as well. But Mars does do well in Leo. So there is that to consider. K2 also does well in Leo, interestingly enough, but the two planets' energy together can be a bit much. Anytime a planet transits with the nodes, we can expect the unexpected events as it relates to that planet and sign's energy. With it in Leo, we could see unexpected events around leadership and power struggles around the world. It can be a period of conflict and transformation on the world stage. Um, we may see more political upheavals, more military confrontations, and world leaders making more impulsive decisions because Mars is a very impulsive planet. For individuals personally, you may find that some of you may end up facing past karmas, and this is really a time to work through them and grow and learn. A key during this time is to really stay grounded and manage your stress. Try not to take your stress out on others, try not to take your anger out on others. Find other ways to take it out, especially because Mercury is retrograde, which means communication is going to be even worse under this. It can be a really great time under this transit for self-reflection. If you feel your emotions, as I just kind of mentioned, running high, take that time to step back. And because there's going to be a higher probability of emotional outbursts. So recognize that in yourself, recognize it in others. I'm not saying it's okay if they do it, but give them grace and understand what's going on. Under this Mars K2, it is not a time to make impulsive decisions. So take the time, step back, write a pros and cons list, and go from there. We could also, under this transit, see an increased potential for natural disasters, including fires and earthquakes, which combined with the Saturn and Neptune conjunction as well earlier in their stations earlier in the month, gives even more opportunity for some major weather. So July could be a lot between earthquakes, fires, tsunamis. There could just be a lot going on, political upheaval, all of it. So, again, put your patience pants on because you're going to need them in July. July 24th, we have the new moon at 8 degrees of Cancer in the lunar mansion of Pushya. This new moon could bring, again, heightened emotions. So, emotions are going to be high this month, really high between everything going on. It's going to be really important with this new moon to make sure you don't act as if you know all the rules. It could make some people crave more independence, but make sure, again, you're not doing anything impulsive. So keep that in mind. And then a few days after the new moon is a really great time to begin new projects. July 25th, Venus is going to transit into Gemini, where it will stay until August 20th. This transit will benefit creativity. If you have a project that needs a creative approach, this is a time when the planetary energies are really going to support you. It can be anything from creative writing, coding, or anything else where you need that creative energy. Um, this communicate the Venus and Gemini may help make communication a little sweeter, kind of offset a bit of the energy from the Mars K2 conjunction and Mercury retrograde, but just again, keep all of that in mind. July 28th, Mars is going to transit into Virgo. Virgo is ruled by Mercury, and anytime Mars and Mercury come together, if you've been with me a while, you know that communication can get a bit more aggressive under this transit. So whether Mars and Mercury are conjunct in transit, or Mercury is in a Mars ruled sign, or Mars is in a Mercury ruled sign, we have to really watch our communication. It's a time to really weigh your words and think before you speak. Patience with driving will be a must as drivers can seem more aggressive and we could see more accidents during this time. This will be even more magnified by Mercury being retrograde for the first 13 days of the Mars transit within Virgo. And it's going to be really important to be aware that your mind could be working overdrive, overthinking, thinking could be more aggressive, and impatience is going to be rampant. So keep that in mind. This is even more true because once Mars transits into Virgo, the good news is it breaks the Kalasarpa yoga that's been in effect for the past few months. So that'll lighten that energy a little bit. At the same time, it's going to be in opposition to Saturn, which can make this transit a little harder as well. So just events, expect the unexpected this month. Um, as you can kind of see, July has the chance of being kind of extremes. I think I wouldn't, I don't think the conflicts are ending anytime soon in the world. I would say they could get a little worse before they get better. But as we head into the fall, things will start to get a little better. So go ahead, put those patience pants on. I think it's really important to remember when all of this is going, stay flexible. That's the other one. Flexibility is your best friend. And stay off of the news and TVs and media and just get out and enjoy life with friends and family. Um, One of the key things with astrology, and I've said it before, we are each on a unique journey, and living in the present is important. So, kind of just remember you can't control everything. So, letting things go that are outside of your control that may take away your happiness, is really important because you can't control them. And why would you let those steal your happiness? So keep that in mind. And I also know you want what to kind of potentially expect for each of the 12 signs. So let's jump on into those. Aries, you may find yourself going within to contemplate all the new ideas that you've encountered. Be sure to write them down so you don't lose them. It can be a time where you attract material possessions, money, and people. You may see financial opportunities come your way, but there is a need to watch that you don't let extravagance and ego take over. Make sure spending this month is practical and within budget. And if you haven't checked in on your budget in a while, now is a great time to reassess. Taurus, you could find yourself meeting new people. You may find yourself busy with short trips, whether they be for work or fun. It's a great month to pursue intellectual activities. It can be a great time to talk with others, but also ensure you are truly listening to them. So get those listening ears on. Listen to understand, not listen to reply. The saying, this month it can be a time where you really have that desire to relate to others. You could find you're more willing to compromise, which will be required this month for you. And it can be a great time to get together with friends, take a vacation, or do something fun. That being said, remember travel delays because Mercury will be retrograde. So if you're taking a vacation, use patience if flying or on any major transit. Gemini, you may find yourself in negotiations with others around property or money, or you may need to help others understand where you truly stand in terms of what you truly value. You may find yourself needing to care for others from a selfless place, and the key is not to expect anything in return because then it is not truly selfless love. You may find that if you've been struggling in your relationship, that the realities surface this month and are asking you to be honest with yourself. And the key is really going to be doing all you can do this month so you don't look back and have regrets. Cancer, you will find your mind more active this month. You may feel a need to get away and travel. It can be good to do a weekend trip to reset your energy and scratch that itch, so to speak. Your mind may jump around from topic to topic very rapidly, which could confuse others. So be sure that you stay aware. It's a really great month to get a group of friends together and do something fun. It can be inviting everyone over to your home for a get together or going out and doing something fun outside of your home. It can also be a great month to attend a conference as you will do well in group settings. Just remember that the general public may be a little more impulsive and aggressive with all the other transits, so keep that in mind and use patience. And you'll be feeling more secure in yourself and more willing to help the group achieve its objectives. Leo, you may find yourself desiring alone time to just do what you want and be with your own thoughts. It can be a great time to meditate. This may not be the best time to openly share your opinions, especially if you are doing so as a way to influence others to your point of view. You can find things are working in your favor at work and your professional life, and you'll find that your energy this month attracts people and circumstances that really help you at work. And you can find that your working relationship should be running more smoothly this month as you want to work from others from a place of peace. So that can be really beneficial for you. Virgo, you will find yourself thinking about your goals and expectations. This can include analyzing them to see if they resonate or ever resonated. If you find that your goals are actually those placed on you by someone else, now can be a great time to think about what you want your goals to be moving forward. You will find that you have some experience this month that leads to your own personal growth. This could come in various forms and may not be a bad experience. And the energies will be working in your favor to reassess and reset. So don't let them pass you by. Libra, this can be a time when you find yourself making plans for your career. It can be a great time to learn new things related to your profession that will help you grow into the future. If you're curious about how to move up in your career, the first part of the month can be a good time to have a conversation with your boss to better understand what is expected in order to achieve your goals. You can find this month that you gain money through a spouse, a business partner, or even through some other means, such as an institution, without extra effort on your part. And this can be a good month to apply for a loan if you need one, and only if you need one. But you will find yourself learning more about how you relate to others this month. Scorpio, you are in luck. For you, relationships will be a focus for you. You have an ability to keep a balance between a focus on yourself and those you encounter this month. If you are single, you could find a new love enters your life. If you are married or in a relationship, you will be able to express your love for your partner more freely. If you are in conflict with someone in your life, this month's energies will allow you to make peace, and you are more intellectually curious right now. It can be a great time to learn something new or sign up for a class that's been catching your eye, and you're more open to new ideas that come up in conversations and communications with others. Sagittarius, this can be a really great time to look inward, be honest with yourself about anything that comes to mind. You could find yourself really deep and intellectual could find yourself in deep and intellectual conversations that really get you thinking in a whole new way. It can be a good month for work and your relationships with coworkers and your boss. You do have that desire to work with others. If difficulties arise, you can get them resolved through listening and discussion with those involved, but be mindful that towards the end of the month, communication could be more misunderstood. For you on the home front, this can be a time where you need to make sure you and your partner are on the same page and in agreement, and it can be a good time for your health, but be sure not to overindulge in sweet or fatty foods. Capricorn, this is a great time to make sure your expectations are clear with your spouse, partner, or business partner. If you're facing situations that require specialist help, this can be a great time to reach out and consult with them on how to proceed. It's really a great month to get out and have fun. This can be going to museums, concerts, anything else that kind of falls in the entertainment world. It can be a time when you will feel this need to express yourself more creatively. You may find your self-discipline may not be as strong this month, so really be sure you don't get lazy and that you meet all your commitments. It can be a good time for love relationships, whether you're single or married. If you're single, you could meet someone during this time, and if you're married, ensure you bring that romance back into your relationship if it's kind of left. Aquarius, you will find that you are more focused on health and work this month. You can be more detail oriented right now and capable of managing work that requires more brain power. You're focused on getting the practical work done, but cautious as you can be more critical of others this month. You may find you're more focused on your health and improving it. You could find yourself on the flip side enjoying relaxing times at home and enjoying the peace, or maybe with some friends coming over. But it can be a time where you kind of get this feeling of the need to redecorate your home. If this happens, be sure that you stick within your budget that you set for yourself, because there can be a tendency to overspend this month, and cautious not to overindulge in food and drink this month. It's really all about moderation. Pisces, this is a great time to express your thoughts both honestly to yourself and others, but do it gently because remember all of the aggressive energy going on in the skies this month with transits. So express yourself, but make sure you weigh your words. This is a great time to make it clear where you stand and what you're thinking. Be sure you're being sensitive to others because you could enjoy pulling pranks this month that affect others more negatively than you realize. And this month, everyday activities will be more enjoyable and agreeable. You could find your calendar booking up as your social life really kicks in, and you have this ability to see beauty in everyday things this month. So really soak them in. That is your July insights and high level overview for the 12 signs, as well as what's going on up in the sky. July is going to be intense. It's going to pack a punch, potential for extreme weather, potential for conflicts to continue to go on. I wouldn't expect some of them to end anytime soon, at least not this month. And just be flexible, expect the unexpected, go with the flow, stay off of the news, don't watch it every day. That'll help your mental statement and frame of mind. And remember that anything outside of your control, try to let go because it's just, there's no reason to let it steal your happiness. So, with that being said, have a wonderful July and come back in August, and I will see you then. If you like and follow, it's easier. And then if you, I'll put a link below because I put a lot of this in newsletter form as well, and I send that out every month. So, until August, have a wonderful July, and I will see all of you back here then.